Epic Gaming Night is made possible by the support of patrons like you. Welcome to the Epic Gaming Night podcast, a podcast about the stories and relationships board games create. I'm your host, Roy Cannon. With me, as always, is Rob.
Hey. Hello.
I need to fix your name on this picture because you currently say Matt.
What?
Last time I had two people, it was, listen, guys, this was very last second, so I'm trying to switch things up. But should be good.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
It's fun. Do it live. We'll do it live. Hey, how's it going, man?
Boom. Is somebody already in the chat? I'm trying to get into the chat. I'm trying to get in. It's not letting me.
Really?
Yeah, I keep refreshing the YouTube page. It's not saying that it's live.
Mark Cale must have blocked you somehow. No, I'm just kidding.
There it goes.
He doesn't have that technology. Let's see. Is this the right one? No. Strange.
Hola, Jordan. I'm excited, man. Can you hear me? Are we good?
I can hear you. Everything's good. Sorry, I'm trying to turn you into actually Rob instead of Matt.
You know what? If I had to be Matt for a day, I may do things a little bit differently, but it'd be a good day.
You know, just grow your beard out even more, and then you'd be good to go.
Yeah. In fact, I'm going to trim it down after the show. I got to take a shower. I got to clean up.
Get all dapper.
So, yeah, just I'm not going to trim it like down, but just straighten it up a little bit. I don't like it getting too bushy. It's too hot.
Hype.
So, man, Jordan, I'm excited for Dice Tower Con, man.
Man, it is coming up.
We have a new living situation at Dice Tower Con.
Oh, snap.
So, our plans for before are now officially canceled as of Saturday, and now we're doing something else. What?
Camping in the parking lot?
Bro, that would be a lot of fun though, because like everybody would be at our tents. They'd be like, "Oh my gosh, what are you guys doing?" I'm like, "Yes."
Board game camp out. I don't think you want to do that in July in Orlando.
In Florida on the hot asphalt.
It's guaranteed to just like dump rain, because that's what happens in Florida. It dumps rain.
No, we so you remember Nick? You remember the guy from last year who's like EGN?
Yeah, Mr. Back to the Future.
Yes, in fact, he just went to one of their panels and met like everybody.
Yeah.
Super excited for him. So he got a villa
at
the event, and
so
a couple of his buddies.
So y'all are gonna chill at the villa?
So we're gonna chill at the villa. Now it's like the same sleeping arrangements because there's like 8 of us in there.
Yeah.
But what I like about it is it comes with a full kitchen.
Yeah.
So, like, if we wanted to, like,
cook up some
save
cheese
on money or other stuff, like, we can go buy our own stuff and then, like, eat there and do stuff there and things like that and have the room. But, like, we'll still have our sleeping arrangements. I'll be spooning with whoever's willing, either Jordan or Matt. Probably not Matt. Maybe Jordan. I don't know if his wife will let me spoon with him. But anyway, so we're gonna have a good time, and I'm excited. Adam's coming down,
dude.
So it's myself, Adam, Matt, Jordan.
That's gonna be like the party villa right there.
Nick, and then Nick's crew, all in the villa. So we'll see. I know this is not what we're talking about, but here's my conundrum.
Mm-hmm.
I've got Adam coming.
Yeah.
Do I do like a one-shot D&D campaign? I don't know. I haven't asked him yet. I don't know, but like part of me is like, oh my gosh, I'd be stupid not to. I'd be stupid not to play with him and see what's going on. And then the other part is like, crap, do I take a day away from the con and literally just watch Stranger Things 3 on my phone?
There's that.
I don't know. Rob's raps ranting while really relishing raspberry rib rub. What? I can do it. But anyway, so we'll see. I'm excited to see Ambi.
Oh yeah, Ambi, hi.
It'll be a good time.
But yeah, so today we're going to be talking about some of the releases coming out at Origins.
Are you excited? This is your first Origins ever.
Dude, okay, this might sound insane, but so Tom has been working ahead, getting a bunch of reviews done. Today, I was basically tied to my chair, not literally, but figuratively, and I edited 12 of Tom's reviews. 12 right. Review videos. That is an entire week worth of reviews in one day. So I'm trying to get everything done and ready so I can go to this thing and be like, okay, I don't have the stress of things that needed to be edited that I didn't get done.
No, the great thing is, like, once you get back, Tom's going to be like, oh, crap, we have to plan for our own con that we're hosting, like, in 2 weeks.
Well, the cool thing is, when I get back, he's going to be gone to China, so it's going to be, like, lull time until he gets back from China. And when he gets back from China, it's going to be like, it's a week till our con!
Do you see who's in chat right now?
Oh, snap, Emerson!
Now, listen, everybody, we love everybody. We love everybody. But Emerson Matsuchi, did you text him saying we're talking about a certain something tonight?
Literally, that's the first thing I thought. Hey, Emerson, I should just Skype you in. Like, we can make this happen.
I would totally drop talking about Origins to talk about this game because I am very excited for this game. And the fact that it's coming straight retail. So that means we'll be able to play it sooner than later. Speaking of later, I finally on Monday, or not Monday, on Saturday, finally got my Lords of Hellas in. That's a rant for another day. But you text Emerson. If he wants to get on, I'll do it.
Yeah. Well, let me see if he's actually on Skype. If he's actually on Skype, I'm just going to do it right now. He's on Skype. Watch this. Watch it. Let's see if it actually works. I don't know if it will.
So
I'll have to see if I have an Emerson.
You're showing everybody that you're friends with.
Doesn't matter to
Look
me.
at this man.
I'm going to have to switch my image again.
Look at this dude. Emerson Natsuchi. What is up, man?
He's just crashing the podcast. What's up?
No, he is not crashing.
I know.
He is always invited. The door always opens for that guy. It never shuts. Always, never a crash. If anything, we're crashing his night. He's probably creating something amazing. He's probably doing something wonderful. And we're just like, hey, talk to us. So we apologize to you.
Yeah. Well, Roy knows what I'm working on back over here.
Oh, yeah. Snap.
So
I'll
show you after the, I guess it goes quiet.
Oh, yeah. Well, our first thing on the docket, literally for news, was to talk about Metal Gear Solid, because we don't know what's up with that. So
I texted Roy like a few days ago. I was like, when are we going to get Emerson back on to talk about this game?
Well, this is very impromptu.
This is a summer Christmas miracle right here.
Let me go grab something.
Hold on a second. I'm actually literally fixing the thing. Ta-da! I've got an Emerson.
Hey,
I've got an Emerson overlay.
I'm bringing this to Origins.
Yes!
Oh,
dude,
my goodness.
That would be awesome if we get a chance to mess with that.
Yeah. I'd love to get you guys' feedback on it.
Get Roy's feedback.
Super sweet. So everybody's like, oh my goodness, Emerson's head. Everybody in chat's going crazy. So our first thing for the news today is we were going to talk about that more information has come out about the Metal Gear Solid game. And I guess there's going to be like pre-orders and things like that for the game. And you get like special things with pre-orders.
So mad I'm texting him right now.
So is there anything else you can tell us about Metal Gear Solid, or do you even know what you're allowed to say?
Actually, no. I think maybe I should close the stream because I think now I'm getting 2 feeds. One's slightly delayed.
There you go. That'd probably be good, or at least mute it.
Yeah, let me see what I can do here. Let me see if I can mute this. Okay. All right, so now I'm just looking at you guys here.
Cool. So our first thing for news today was to talk about Metal Gear Solid and what was going on with that. And so I was like, oh man, I saw like the miniatures they had posted. I guess IDW had posted about it and that you could pre-order it. It looked like through Amazon or something like that.
Yeah, they're using Amazon as a platform for the pre-orders.
Very smart.
So it's so it's available. I believe that the release date is set for December 15th.
Mm-hmm.
And it's now what they don't show in the image is actually the booklets, because there's actually a lot of content in the books themselves.
Gotcha.
So I think there's one of the books is about 40 to 50 pages, and then the second book is over 100 pages.
Hmm.
So, but you don't see the image of that yet because we haven't fully laid everything out, and there's still a lot of work to be done behind the scenes.
Gotcha. So is it gonna be scenario play basically, or?
Yeah, it's going to be scenario based. We call them
Mhm.
stages because it's based, like how video games have stages, and you have boss stages and so forth. So it's divided into stages so that, and the two booklets actually have two different sets of stages that you could play. So if your group is amicable to, having a campaign, sitting down and playing with people, we have like a campaign book where you can play and you can sort of play through the story of the first Metal Gear Solid. But
Hmm.
let's say if you just want to play like a one-off thing, then you have another one called the VR missions, which allows you to just play just a one-shot scenario.
Gotcha. That's awesome. So you have standalone stuff you can play as well.
Right, right, exactly.
That's awesome. That's one of the things like I like scenario stuff, but a lot of times it's so hard to get the same group back to the table or to be able to play through a lot of it. But it's awesome when you have that option to play it in different ways, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, so that was the goal, is so that you don't like. I have a particular problem with legacy. Not, I don't have a problem with the legacy, the concept or the mechanic,
Mm-hmm.
but it's getting a dedicated group is the challenge that I have.
Yes.
Yeah, so I've been stuck in July Pandemic Legacy for a long time now. So just because people have moved, commitments have changed and so forth. So I didn't
Yeah.
want to put the same kind of a burden on people who want to play this game.
Yeah, I definitely feel you. I mean, I've been in the same boat with a lot of these games, especially when it's like if you're doing media or reviewing, or if you just have a like to play lots of new board games. It's really hard to get through one of these games that's like a huge scenario or lifestyle sort of thing. But
Yeah,
but it's really cool
exactly.
that you guys have added that in.
Hey, speaking of the scenarios and all that other kind of stuff, you know, I love bugging you about apps. So,
Oh no.
is this game going to have a type of app scenario so it can help you run with what you need to do, and if you want to do that one player or something like that? And are there any other games you previously worked on where apps are coming out or anything like that?
Oh, very subtle. I like it. I have been a little bit of a ghost going on Reddit and checking out different forums in regards to Metal Gear Solid.
Mm-hmm.
And the now one of the things I'd like is to have an app for atmosphere. So we do have things like cutscenes within the game, but it's actually represented with more of like a comic style panels. But what I would love to do is to actually have someone voice those sections.
Oh
Uh,
snap.
but and I've also seen that some people had assumed that it will require an app to, I guess, handle some of the AI in terms of moving the guards and figuring out what the boss does. But the game does not require an app at all. So I made sure that there's no app as an integral component to the game, which is different than say like Mansions of Madness or
Got
the
it.
ones, even though those are phenomenally great games.
Right, right.
If
Uh,
you need a voice, I could be that voice for you.
all right.
That terror in the dark. Sneak, sneak, creep, creep. What? You heard something? No, you didn't. Boom. Got it. I'm Snake. I just did it. Love it.
Was that your
Okay.
audition, I guess?
No, I'd probably have like show like maybe a little bit more chest hair for the audition.
Is that what Snake has?
Maybe get a
He's
little
known for
deeper.
chest hair.
And then I would get like an eye patch for an eye or something like that, but I'd have to keep my glasses on for the other eye, so it'd be more like this type of
Yeah,
it.
well, you need the bandana.
Oh, I would do a bandana.
Yeah, and you wouldn't wear the eye patch until Metal Gear Solid 4.
I'm from the future.
So,
That in my
Okay.
so I know you've
anyway,
been like a
I'd be
huge Metal Gear fan for like a long time. Like, how excited were you to be able to work on this IP and be able to bring it to light in on the tabletop?
It was unbelievable. Like it was very surreal when I had the opportunity to work on this. It was something that like I had to pinch myself several times just to make sure, hey, I'm not dreaming about this.
That's awesome.
So how long did it take you to get permission? Like, how long has this whole Metal Gear Solid journey been for you? From not just the concept, but like, let's move beyond concept, but from getting the license and moving all that stuff on. Like, has this been a game that you have officially been working on for a year, 2 years, type of a thing? Like, how long has that been the whole journey?
Oh, probably since April of last year.
Oh, okay. So a little over a year. Wow.
Yeah, a little over a year. Still not done yet. We're still working on it. There's still some fine tuning that we need to do, still some balancing and so forth. So we're not quite done with the journey yet.
Okay.
Yeah. But hopefully it'll wrap up soon.
Are you having to run anything by Metal Gear Solid Camp on approval, like on sculpts or story arc or anything like that?
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure that there's a lengthy approval process, although IDW has been handling all of that. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm not involved with a lot of that, although I do get to see the stages of the art, which has been great. It's super exciting to see the artwork, going from like say storyboard to actual graphics and with the sculpts too.
Yeah.
So it's been great to see the process.
I know we've talked about a lot of this personally, but I always talk to you about like how much I love thematic games and games that have tons of theme. And you've told me like, man, I really wish I could make more games that like had that thematic feel and stuff in it, because you've been kind of like here recently. You've been pigeonholed as the guy who makes these awesome, really super tight like Euro games with
Right.
all of the Century stuff and Reef and all that. So how has that like changed your thinking about game design, having to go from those kind of games to a more thematic game again?
Yeah, it's interesting. Like I had this thought where, like some people consider like doing Euro games very difficult because it's a sort of like a mathematical model that you're working with to create like a game with the right amount of incentives, the right amount of balance. But when it comes to thematic games, I find thematic games to be more of a challenge to be able to nail the right feel and experience, trying to use mechanics. So I mean they're both big challenges in their own right. They're very different, and you know that I'm also more of a thematic gamer, so I definitely tend to like the challenge of trying to fit a theme too. We're trying to make find the right mechanics to fit the theme and the experience that you want. So and love doing it.
The best games have that awesome tight mechanics and math mixed with the theme and feel very thematic at the same time and give you those exciting moments and aha moments, but also have those solid parts too,
Yeah, that's like sort of like the holy grail for us designers.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, you guys weren't planning to talk about Metal Gear the whole episode, were you?
We were gonna talk about Origins, which was the plan. Origins release. I actually hear you have other releases coming out at Origins as well.
Yes.
I just have one release coming out at Origins, which is the Next Century game.
Mm-hmm. I've heard good things.
Now I'm feeling really guilty.
No, don't feel guilty at all, man. This is a happy surprise.
I was about to say, you don't understand how like the topic for this podcast, like I decided on it like literally a couple hours ago. So hey, this is how we roll.
And it's funny too. Usually on Tuesday nights, I have my playtest group. We come and we actually playtesting. Actually, right here, we usually like every other week we meet here. But then because Origins is in a couple days, so we figured, we're not going to do the playtest night tonight. So I figured, I'm going to work on this prototype that I have over on this table while I listen to you guys. So I turned you guys on, and just wanted to say hi.
We moved to Mondays for you, Emerson.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, that's part of the big reason. You and a lot of other game developers do their Tuesday night, which is weird, but Tuesday night prototype night or testing night. And so we were just talking about it, like, you know what, to be able to have people stay on the show or come on the show, let's just move to Tuesday. So that was
you mean Monday?
Yeah, or Monday. Move from Tuesday to Monday.
Yeah.
So
I thought I'd listen to you guys while I work on this. I didn't actually mean to come and jump in and interfere with your
It's all your fault, but we're happy. But hey, can you explain to me? So I saw in a video,
Yeah.
Century and New World is going to be able to play all three Century games together.
You will be able to play them together. The Century game itself won't be able to do that, but you can actually take the Century 3 and you can combine that with Century 1 or with Century 2, or you can combine all three games.
Was that the goal from the very beginning, or was
Yeah.
that something that morphed during the process?
That was something that was. It's funny. It was announced that they'll be producing three standalone games, but they'll be mixable.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny part of that story was that the Plan B, what their definition of mixable was different than what I had in mind. So what I had in mind was exactly what you guys see now, is that they're going to be three completely different games, but they all can combine in some way
Yes, sir.
to creating like a new. You can combine the different mechanics into a game. And then later on, I found out when they meant mixable, they really just meant standalone expansions.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. Sorry, I apologize for that. I'm trying to
No worries.
deal with real estate at the same time while having this conversation. So I'm texting a client as we're talking.
So it's kind of funny now. Every time I'm like editing a review of Tom's, that's
Yeah.
Emerson's, I'll like take a picture of my screen and be like, "Oh, hey Emerson, look what I'm doing," and Emerson's like, "Oh no, what'd he say?" I think it's funny.
You get me all nervous.
I know. I'm like, dude, you're never gonna hear what Tom said about you this time. Ugh. But hey, I hear with a new world, there's pretty good news, right? Did you actually get a chance to go back and watch that?
I did. I did.
Seems,
So yeah, I was.
Tom actually said that it is the best out of the three, which is crazy to think because I thought that the other ones were really good. So I want to see how you've topped yourself with the new world.
Yeah. Yeah. Although, I mean, everyone seemed like I've talked to different people, and some people say the first one's their favorite. I've talked to people who say the second one is their favorite. And there's, hopefully there will be people who feel that the third one is their favorite. But if I get a good mix of people who have different favorites, then I know I'm doing at least a decent job of like hitting different sweet spots for people.
Yeah. So is a new world just a little bit more added complexity? I know it's like the main mechanic is worker placement type stuff or something like that.
Yeah. Yes, it's worker placement. It's it's a little bit different than say the worker placement you're used to with say Lords of Waterdeep or Kalis. Kalis is the one I remember. That was my first worker placement game. But there's a little bit of engine building to it, and it has instead of having like a set round where you end the round, everyone picks up all their workers. I tried to use what Spice Road does, is where you're just taking continuous turns, and if you run out of workers, you have to spend an action to take all your workers back. So it's worker placement, but I'm trying to get it to feel as much or be as familiar to people who enjoy Century, so that it will be a seamless transition to go from one game to another for them.
Nice. And this looks very different than the prototype you were testing at last Dice Tower Con. So it looks like you went through several different iterations of the game before finally coming on this one that you guys made.
Yeah, not so much iterations, but we tested different concepts altogether.
Gotcha.
So I had one of them which was tile laying, another one which was tile laying with worker placement, and then the current one is actually you'll notice that the tiles are actually quite big because they're double-sided. So that one has, it's more of a traditional board with workers that you place on there. So, but yeah, it was probably the third full redesign where we came to that that current version that we have.
Awesome. Cool. Well, I bet it's gonna sell out hardcore at Origins. So
I hope so.
I'm definitely excited. I might
What are
have
you
to run to the Plan B booth with everybody else to try to grab a copy.
I'll see if I can save a copy for you. But what are you guys excited for at Origins?
I've actually never been to Origins, so I'm definitely excited just to go and see. I'm flying there with Z, and it's definitely going to be a different thing. I know Origins has been a big release con for Plan B because that's where they announce and release a bunch of their stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, But overall, that's what we were about to literally talk about, was go through and see which games looked the best and looked the coolest, and talk about them. I knew that New World was one of the ones that was going to be on my list, but there are a couple others. I mean, it's kind of interesting being with the Dice Tower. It's hard for me to tell how many of these games are like already out or just like Tom actually got them. So it's like, oh, I've seen that game. I've seen that game. I've seen that game. I don't actually get to play these games, but I edit reviews of them. But yeah, there's lots of interesting stuff coming out.
Yeah.
Have you seen any? Did you see anything skimming through the list, Rob, that you thought looked super cool?
Yes, I did see a couple of things that I thought looked super cool. Do we just want to pick out ones that way, or do you want to go from like top to bottom type of a thing?
Did you want to stick around and talk with us, Emerson? Like, we can talk about Origins games. We can talk with you more about your games. It doesn't really matter. Like, we're here just hanging out. Or do you really have prototypes to work on?
Well, I do, but I'm just taking a bit of a break right now, so...
There we go.
Well, let us be your distraction for another 33 minutes.
All right, sounds good. 33 minutes it is.
Yes, sir.
Is there anything that you're excited about coming out of Origins off the top of your head?
Well, there was one release I was really excited about, but my copy just came, so it's actually
nice.
From Capstone Games.
Capstone Games, okay.
Yeah, so they do a little bit more like the heavier games, or I guess a more connoisseur type of games. So they're more on the heavier side. And like one example, I believe, is that they brought Arkwright, which is a very, very heavy game.
Are you talking about Pipeline?
Yeah, Pipeline, exactly.
It looks aesthetically, it looks pretty good.
Yeah, no, actually the box is gorgeous. It's still in shrink because I just got it, but it's got like nice gold foil for like the names, and the aesthetically it looks really, really nice.
That's awesome.
Are you literally just making a pipeline to move water?
Oil.
Oil.
Yes.
That's all you're doing?
Well, I mean, there's a little bit more to it than that.
That looks great. You know what it looks like? It looks like one of those games. You ever play like those cell phone games where you have to like connect all the pipes together to make sure like the different colors line up and stuff like that to make sure the water flow? Or it also looks like one of those puzzles in Mansions of Madness where you have to make sure like...
I think Mansions of Madness has like one of those puzzles.
Yeah.
There was an old game that was in my grandma's closet called like Waterworks or something like that, and it was all about connecting pipes and things like that. And it reminds me of that a little bit. But it came with little metal wrenches, which was kind of cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. How about you, Rob? Anything catch your eye?
Okay, so box-wise, I really don't know a lot about the game, but well, how about this? The first one I'm excited for is I saw the expansion for Bunny Kingdom in the Sky. I have become a fan of Bunny Kingdom. Really, really do like it. And now that they're having a new board, and that board, adds another depth to the game where you can connect the different fiefdoms in the sky. So that's the first thing that I'm excited about. But that's also because I've played Bunny Kingdom before. Right. But the game so far that looks, and this is strictly on box cover, strictly on the box cover. But the one I'm scrolling down to it, I saw it. All right, it's called Silver. On the hotness, it's got 33 likes.
Yeah.
It looks like Pixar loaned their artist to Bezier Games. So it almost looks like the dad from How to Train Your Dragon meets Mr. Incredible, but dyed his hair brown and grew a beard. I don't know. Just to me, it looks really cool. I love the Viking theme, or I love that medieval theme. I love the tattoo on his arm and stuff like that. Like, that looks like a game where I could probably get my family to play. Like, I could see my daughter in a couple of years getting excited to play that just because of the artwork and everything like that. And she sees me play card games, and so I think she may like that one. But to me, aesthetically wise, this is just, it looks like a fun game. And it says it's for ages 8 and up, so she might be able to play it sooner than later because she's a pretty smart girl.
Yeah, that's
But
interesting. It's from the cover, you can't really tell what kind of a game it is, but I mean,
yeah,
Mhm.
Bezier Games makes lots of great games.
they do make good games. If I were to buy this, it would probably be strictly on aesthetics alone. And yeah, I really don't know much more. The only thing I know is it's hand management and set collection. That's it. And it's not even going to be out for sale. It's just demo only.
Yeah, yeah.
So this will probably be one of those games that you order at Gen Con or Essen Spiel or something like that. So, but that was the first one that I thought artistic wise caught my attention. But there's a couple at the very top that I'm interested in hearing more about.
Okay.
So
Yeah, we just did a preview or a playthrough of the Dwellings of Everdale. It's just going to be a demo, and I think this is coming to Kickstarter soon from Breaking Games. But this is like a big, giant, like heavy fantasy Euro, but there's also like combat in it. It's like this gigantic game that has like it's like worker placement, but you're also trying to build out dwellings, and you get points off building out dwellings, but then you're also trying to build up your influence in these like different magical spheres. You're trying to gain these different cards, and if depending on where you are in the spheres, your cards are going to give you points, and you're putting workers out on the board to gain abilities, but that you can also like fight with those workers when you put them out. But then also, if your worker's still on the board, you can pull them off again and get a special ability. And when you pull them off, you get to place them on your different cards and trigger abilities from that. I didn't actually play the game, but the guys at the Dice Tower ended up playing it. And they have an interesting thing with this game as well, where there's monsters that are out on the board that will like attack you if you place your workers in certain spaces, but you can also fight them. And if you fight them, you can like gain different sphere like magic influence and things like that. But each of these monsters, they're gonna have like bases that have sound effects, and they had like given me all the sound effects for all the different monsters that we played during the playthrough. And this one looks really cool. I'd like to get actually get a chance to play this game. It'd be really fun. It looks very like heavy Euro, which is normally not my thing, but I love like lots of fantasy stuff. Like it's everybody plays a different fantasy race. Everybody's building up their different like magic sphere things with tons of different abilities. And honestly, I really like worker placement as a mechanic too. So I definitely want to see more about that game and see how well the Kickstarter does for that. As far as games that are actually going to be for sale, I'm not sure which one I'd be most excited about. There's a bunch of different ones.
Yeah, actually, there's quite a few. There's a couple I wanted to mention too that I was really excited for, but now I can't seem to remember.
There's a bunch of games that I'm like, yep, I did that. I really want to. Another demo that I'd like to see is the new Plaid Hat Abomination game, the Eric Frankenstein one.
Yeah, that's the one I wanted to see. It's only for demo though, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm always excited about Plaid Hat games just because they make those thematic games. So I'm always interested in that.
Yeah, I'm also interested in their Super Punch Fighter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to check that out as well.
That came into the office, and I was like, I hope they play that soon, or I want to play that. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It looks really cool.
Yeah.
One game that they are selling there is the Grim Masquerade from Druid City Games.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a deduction game based off fairy tales. Rob, I think you would really like this because it seems like something you would be interested in.
I was just looking at it. It actually does look really cool.
It's like every player is like one of these different Grimm fairy tale characters, but the other players don't know which one you are. Like that's like a hidden role. It's like hidden roles, but it's not really social deduction. It's just straight deduction because there's not the same like lying or hidden aspect of like trying to deceive the other players. It's more like just trying to do things to gain information. So each turn you're going to be drawing cards, and you draw a card out of a deck, and it's full of all sorts of different items, whether it be like it's just like different fairy tale items that match like each of the characters. I forget what exactly they all are, but it'll be like glass slipper or like a cauldron or like a hourglass sort of thing. Like there's all sorts of different things, and each character has like a affinity and like a hatred for each of these different items. Like there's enough items in there that actually match up with all the different characters. And you look at a card off the top of the deck, and you can either take it for yourself or give it to another player. And then you look at a second card, and then if you took the first one for yourself, you have to give the second card to another player. If you gave the first card to another player, you have to take the second one for yourself. If you ever get two of the items that are ones you hate, you're automatically knocked out of the game. So you can like force people to have cards, and sometimes you can just knock them out of the game. Or you can, if you get items that you don't need, you can trade them away to like accuse other people of being specific like fairy tale characters. You can be like, oh, you're the Beast, or oh, you're Cinderella, whatever. But if you get all three of the items that you like, then you win that round straight up. And there's also like a bidding mechanic where you can bet that like a certain character will win or lose the game, sort of thing. There's all sorts of interesting stuff in this game, but it looks super cool because it's like fairy tale deduction is basically what it is.
Yeah. You know, Druid City, they always make these games look so good.
Yeah,
like
that's one of their things, is that production value is like the top of their list. So,
yeah, they know how to make a game.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Have either one of you played Monster Slaughter yet?
No, I know Sam's really big into that game.
I got my copy. I backed it on Kickstarter. It came in like December of last year, right before Cabin Con, and I played it at Cabin Con, and I played like the base game. I really liked it. In fact, I liked it enough where I backed the expansion that just finished on Kickstarter. Mm-hmm. But man, I'm hoping more people get to play it, because like I want to bring it with me to Dice Tower Con this year to play it again. But I see that it's like officially, I guess, getting launched at Origins for sale, and so yeah, I just want to. I'm way down the list, bro. You guys are still at the top, looking at the pretty games. I'm down here in the dark dungeons.
Every game that I want to talk about, I look over. It's like, oh for demo, oh for demo, oh for demo.
Yeah. So, hey, talk more about that whole Plaid Hat game, the Abomination.
Talk more about it? I don't know more about it. I have to go and demo it to actually know more about it.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind.
But hopefully that will happen. There's another game that is for demo, but I actually played it this week, and that is Unmatched Battle of Legends. This is the remake by Restoration game of Star Wars Epic Duels. They took
I heard about that. Yes.
They took the game and like modernized it like they do with majority of the game. They take these old games and modernize them and make them cool. I played. They have a 2-player set that is the basically a Bigfoot versus Robin Hood. But I guess they also have other sets that are like Alice in Wonderland versus Medusa versus Sinbad versus Arthur. But it's like this crazy mix match of like battling each other. And basically you are going to have, it's all like card combat. So you're going to be starting with a hand of cards, and you can, your characters can move a certain number of spaces. Everybody's going to have like a main character, and then their main character is also going to have like little allies. So you're going to have like little weaker guys. If you knock out your opponent's main character, you win the game. So it's all about trying to get into combat, play a card, and then your opponent has a chance to play a defense card. And these cards will trigger with like before combat or during combat or after combat abilities, and you're trying to outsmart them and play the right cards at the right time to be able to dodge their attacks and jump in there and hit them. And it's just a interesting, like quick, just get in each other's faces and like smash each other game. And it's got that cool thing of just mixing up all sorts of crazy characters.
Yeah, I love the stuff that Restoration Games is doing. They also have another release, don't they? It was called Conspiracy.
Yeah, I haven't actually played that one, but is that? I know that. I mean, it's obviously a remake of another game, but that'd be another one I'd be interested in trying out.
Yeah, and it's for sale, so I definitely want to hit the Restoration Games booth and check it out.
Yeah, Justin and Rob Davio don't play around when it comes to redoing those games.
They do a phenomenal job, I gotta say.
Oh, this Game of Thrones Oathbreaker game is for sale there. I don't know if you've seen this, but this is another social deduction game.
Where's that on the list?
It is way down.
Oh, but just give me the thumbs up. It'll help me gauge how
18.
far. Wow, you are way down.
We talked about this on the show before, but this is basically a social deduction game that feels like kind of like Secret Hitler meets Hail Hydra sort of thing. But it's set in the Game of Thrones universe, and one player's the king trying to figure out how they're going to like hand out these like blame cards, and your team gets like positive or negative points. They're trying to figure out who the people are based off of who they give these cards to, and it can also do like little abilities. But then the other players are trying to go on these different missions and pass or fail them, and also at the same time they're trying to get certain cubes which represent like honor or gold or like loyalty and things like that. They're trying to get these certain cubes to be able to fulfill their own secret objectives. So bad guys might try to succeed in certain missions to try to get the right cubes, but then other times you might fail a mission to try to do different things and stuff like that, and you try to be sneaky about that. Man, we played this live, and it was fun because the designers, like when we went to lunch afterwards, they're like, "So, Roy, it seems like you've played social deduction games before." And I was like, just a couple. I mean, I did the whole, like the first time we played, they're like, "Roy, if you're evil, like you have played like the best game ever." Yeah, I was evil, and
You were evil.
now they don't trust me anymore. I had to get that one good social deduction game in there to ruin it for them, right? And it was funny because there were plenty of people in chat that like listen to our podcast and know. And so many people in chat were like, "Don't trust Roy, don't trust Roy," and they're like, "Oh, chat, they're just crazy." But it was a lot of fun, and I played as one of the, I don't know what the bad guys are called. They're like, I guess just people that are trying to supplant the throne. And then I also played as the king, and both roles were really fun. So I definitely want to try to give this a whirl again, and I just like the Game of Thrones theme. So
Yeah. It's an awesome thing.
awesome things.
Since we're down in the 18 thumbs, I think just under that is there's a game called Lots, a competitive tower building game.
Which one?
It's Lots. I think it's just under the Game of Thrones Oathbreaker.
Oh, gotcha.
That's 18 thumbs.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I think I've seen this.
Yeah, so this one is I was helping to develop this game too. So one of the guys that comes for the playtest, he's the designer of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a fun stacking game, but it's not all about the dexterity element of it. So you're gaining points as you're trying to build up this tower to a specific floor plan. So and the designer's actually, while you're at Origins, the designer's going to have a mega sized version of this. So you guys got to check that out.
Yeah, I think the designer is one of my friends on Facebook, so I've seen him post a bunch of pictures. I actually saw a picture of you playing this game.
Yeah, this was fun.
Oh.
It was a lot of fun. So wanted to mention that.
Okay. It looks pretty cool. Look, that Tetris build, Tetris style
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
kind of game. All right.
So many board games.
There's so many that are
There's
coming out.
there's the Robin Hood and Bigfoot for Unmatched, and they have it for demo there. That's cool.
Yeah.
Hey, different subject, but on board game subject, and I'm bringing this up because I just saw Batman Talisman.
Yeah.
Did you back anything new on the Batman?
So I looked at it
Second
like the
plate.
day it came out. I don't even have all the stuff from the first Kickstarter, and I looked at it, and there's a bunch of interesting stuff, but it's like Japanese Batman and like interesting stuff like that, and I'm just like, it seems cool, but I have so much of the game already, and it's just like,
Yeah.
I would like more of the game because the game is fun, but I also feel like I need to play the game. I always feel like I need to play a game a lot before I expand the game, like at least a little bit, It's like I want to know that it's a game that I enjoy, and I've actually used that content enough to like warrant getting more of it. But that's the weird thing about these Kickstarters that are like only on Kickstarter. It's kind of like, is it ever going to be available again?
Yeah.
How do you feel about that sort of stuff, Emerson? Like, it's kind of like, okay, well, this is a Kickstarter exclusive, or like this game is never coming to a game store. Get it now, or miss out forever.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that, and it's mostly because like I really like to do what I can to support the friendly local game store. So by saying that your game is only available on Kickstarter, you're kind of not allowing the brick and mortar retailers to have something that they could sell at their store. So it's kind of like you're excluding them from your whole business model.
Right.
So,
It's like you're
but I
cutting
can.
out two parties in that whole equation going straight, which I mean, I guess means you can sell more product or make more profit either way, you know.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with having your Kickstarter sell direct to the consumers, and because that's really the platform to do it on. But to make it exclusive to you are, announcing that you are excluding distribution and retail and things like that. It's always up to the project creators, but it's something that it's something that if I were a Kickstarter creator, it's something I would do. I'd want to be as inclusive as I can.
Right. I feel like it stresses out the consumer too, because they're just kind of like, I have to open up my wallet now.
Right.
Or,
Yeah.
and that's what they said the very first time. They're like, this Batman Kickstarter it's on Kickstarter now. You're never gonna have a chance to get it. It's gonna be gone.
Yeah.
And before they even delivered the Kickstarter, they announced the second Kickstarter. So then people were just like, wait a minute, we've heard this before. Like it feels kind of weird at that point where it's like, oh, they're gonna kickstart it. We haven't even received our copy yet, but they bribed us into kickstarting it by saying there's no other way to get it the first time. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I think it's kind of preying on the FOMO psychological phenomenon, right?
Right. And some of us are too broke to be able to buy all these Kickstarters. And I'm the kind of person that I really like to play the game before I buy the game, and you just can't do that with Kickstarter most of the time. I mean, maybe if you get lucky and see it at a con and get a chance to play it there, but
Right.
majority of the time it's like buy this game sight unseen almost, you know. I mean, that's when reviewers and previewers and all that stuff come in handy. But how can you really review? You can't review a game that's not out yet. That's another
Correct.
thing. It's like
Yeah.
if a game isn't finished product and you get a prototype of it for a preview, that's still not what the consumer's actually even going to get. So at that point, it's just like you can't really know how well the game is going to be because it's not actually a thing yet. So
Yeah, yeah. And then if the question was based on how do I feel about the practice of, using FOMO to try to get more backers, I can't help but feel like it's a little bit exploitative.
right.
So, but when it comes to Kickstarters, I'm very, very naive as to the whole process. I've never actually created a Kickstarter project.
Right.
The thoughts cross my mind, but it's something
Have you
I haven't.
backed many Kickstarters?
I think I'm up to about 80 projects now that I've
Holy
backed.
smokes!
Oh,
So yeah, don't tell my wife.
Rob's in that same boat.
Yeah. So
I'm not up to 80, but I've backed
Yeah.
some big ones.
I think I'm close. I think I'm like 77 or 78, so I'm pretty close to 80, I think.
My thing is the amount I've spent on Kickstarters.
Oh, yeah.
Tom came in the office today or whatever. And was like, "Hey, I'm thinking about doing a topic on death in Kickstarters," and I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Well, what happens if you die, and then all of your Kickstarter projects keep coming in for years, just reminding your loved ones that you've passed away?" And I'm like, "That is dark. That's really dark."
Wow, that's quite morbid.
And
Way to go, Tom.
we joke around a lot, but I was just like, huh, that is really interesting. Like, what would happen to all your games, or like, where would you just sign over your Kickstarter account to one of your buddies or something like that in your will?
Yeah. Emerson, we have a good question in chat. If you don't mind,
Oh,
I'll
sure.
ask you this real quick.
Sure.
People want to know. Actually, this is from our friend Leon. Emerson, as a game designer, do you still enjoy playing games with your family and friends? And if so, what have you played recently?
Oh, absolutely. I absolutely do enjoy playing games. And the funny thing is that yesterday I was playing with some friends, and we played was it Dinosaur Island, which was fantastic. We also played Arboretum, and that's a phenomenal game, by the way. Let's see, what else we played a couple of other things. Can't believe I'm drawing a blank here, but yeah,
Unacceptable.
unacceptable. Okay, let me see if I can remember exactly what we played. Did we play Seven Wonders Duel? No, we didn't. We didn't play that. What else? What else did we play? We did play Prototypes. I think that's also one of the reasons why my memory's a little fuzzy, is because we were also playing some Prototypes as well. But yeah, I absolutely do enjoy it. Yesterday, one of them had actually asked me, do I still enjoy playing one of my games? Oh, sorry. I never told my wife that I was going to be on a podcast, so hold on. Hey, honey? Actually, I'm on a podcast. It's live, by the way, so I don't know if you want to sit in front of me.
Hi.
Okay. Sorry, it wasn't planned. Sorry.
He has a secret life. Don't believe him. Yeah. We've known this for weeks.
So yeah, absolutely. I still love playing games. I mean, I don't think I'd be as good of a designer if I didn't enjoy playing games, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not that I'm saying I'm a good designer. I'm sorry.
I think that's undeniable at this point, sir.
Yeah, I would, not just because you're on the show, but I mean, you are a top tier designer, hands down.
Well, thank you guys. And I will be at Dice Tower Con, so I'm just responding.
You will be?
Yeah, I will be at Dice Tower Con.
Hi.
Are you working or are you playing?
Hopefully mostly playing, but I'll be doing some work there.
Because I know last year you were doing a lot of prototype stuff and helping out people. How about this? You may have been playing a lot, but when I saw you, we had played a few of your prototypes and a couple of concepts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
what was I gonna say? What do you think, like, your gameplay in between, like, the amount of other published games and the amount of prototype? Like, what percentage do you think of games you get to play? Is it mostly just straight up work prototypes, or?
Yeah, I would have to say, like, most of my time, well, because I do treat playing prototypes as work, right? So I try to put in a full week of work. So I do a majority of the time I spend at the table playing a game or a prototype. Yeah, a majority of it is with the prototypes. But that makes the time when I get to play like a published game, or when I just get to play with my friends or with my kids, that I consider very different from when I play test prototype. I consider playtesting prototypes as work. I treat it as work. I analyze it as if I'm, analyzing something for work. So there's definitely a mental separation between playing prototypes and playing a game.
It's so funny because, like, I've invited coworkers over to my condo and been like, okay, guys, we're going to play old games that we've all already played for fun. No work, no playing new games, thinking about what you're going to do to review them. We're just going to have fun playing new games or playing old games. So that's kind of like the same concept of, like, we're always playing these new things or these things that are not necessarily the best games. So sometimes it's good to play games that are good and go back and visit those.
Yeah. Do you guys have like a favorite older game? Like, say, something from that's at least 5 years old.
5?
Oh, man, there's so many.
You can't say Twilight Imperium just because it's a 3rd edition.
All right. Well, hold on.
All right.
Let me look up real quick, see what's at least 5 years old. Is Blood Rage 5 years old yet?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think it's like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
I'm still a big fan of Axis and Allies.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I still have the 1983 edition, and I have some of the newer editions and stuff like that. But I'm still a big fan of that. Of course, I absolutely love Battlestar Galactica. In fact, I'm wanting to bring my copy of Battlestar Galactica with me to Dice Tower Con. Still a big fan of Game of Thrones. It's been out over 10 years now. The 2nd edition's over 10 years old now.
Yeah.
Still absolutely love that game. I won't mention Mansions of Madness just because the 2nd edition is less than 5 years old.
But really like
there's a lot of party games that I play. A lot of party games that my family and I that we've kept on for years that we still play that are well over 5 years old. So
I've actually been 3D printing a ton of pieces for my copy of Wiz War.
Did you see my comment?
Yeah, I definitely want to bring it to Dice Tower Con.
Okay.
But I'm trying to, like, print out all these rock walls and, like, portals and, like, treasure chests and stuff for the game, just because Wiz War is a game that is literally older than I am, the original game. And the newest edition is also like, I know it's more than 5 years old. It's out of print at this point, but I really enjoy it. It's like the precursor to Magic the Gathering. It's just like silly spell slinging fun. So
Yeah. No, I enjoy Wiz Wars. That's a fun game.
It is a fun game.
Yeah.
as long as you don't take it too seriously. I played with one guy once that was like, I thought this game was a strategy game. I'm like, what made you ever think that this game was a strategy game?
Yeah, if you go into it with the right mindset, Wiz Wars is a really fun game.
Yeah.
How
Have
about
you
you?
gotten a
What are
chance to
some
mess
other
with
games
any
that you
3D printing stuff, Emerson?
No, my 3D printer is sitting right there still. I got it plugged in. I got it I think I was in the middle of reading the instructions on putting in the filaments.
Yeah.
But I haven't actually had a chance to actually print anything yet because I've been so busy with all this stuff that I have on the table over here. So, but I'm hoping to get to that at some point.
Dude, there's so much awesome stuff you can do with making pieces for prototypes, you know? Like, if you start looking on Thingiverse, you'll probably be like, oh, man, that would be a crazy thing to put in a game. You know, I've seen some pretty crazy stuff that's like, man, if designers start utilizing some of these interesting printing techniques, they could come up with some crazy stuff. But I've been pimping out all my board games with 3D printed stuff and making terrain for miniatures games, and I've been doing a segment on Board Game Breakfast about 3D printing. And
I've been seeing your Board Game Breakfast segment. I thought that's pretty cool.
I'm in pretty deep at this point.
Yeah. If I'm going to print anything, I'm most likely going to just print things that I need for my prototypes.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll usually be modeling them myself. Like I'll just use some modeling software, model them, and then print them out for the sake of playtesting.
Yeah, I really needed like these little clips to go around the bases of a thing for a thing I was working on. But like I modeled that in Tinkercad and like put some stickers on both sides of it. I didn't have like good cardboard tokens that would work. So I was like, hey, I can make this on the 3D printer. So I made a bunch of those things, which I thought was pretty cool to be able to make things for a prototype and then actually like use it in the game. So
yeah. How about you, Rob? Do you do any 3D printing?
No, sir. I've thought about it. I just I don't.
It's a hobby into itself, which is like a whole nother thing, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I would like to. I just never got into it. So. But if I were to do it, I would probably do similar to what Roy is doing and try to 3D print terrain or, other things for games that I currently have. Mm-hmm. So.
Do you see a little Spectre Ops car that someone made on Thingiverse? I'd printed out like one of those. There's like a 3D car.
Yeah.
And it's very like geometric and like basic, but I'm like, hey, it's a cool little car you can print out.
Yeah.
I'm way past printing out little cars now. Now I'm printing out giant stone walls and giant buildings.
Are you pimping out your was it Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea?
I made a bunch of plastic towers for that.
Cool.
And I think I made one like a set in like each color. But yeah, I really wish I was better at like designing stuff because I've seen a lot of people online being like, oh, if you could make like all of the cardboard structures, like the different like dragons and crocodiles and things like that. I'm like, I can't actually design much in Tinkercad. I just play around with stuff and shapes. I can't actually illustrate or like sculpt much. So yeah, no.
Yeah.
You could probably make some crazy stuff, I'm sure.
Well, I was 3D modeling as a hobby for, like 15 years. Mm-hmm. But strictly as a hobby until just like a year or two ago when I actually started doing it for the board game hobby. That's the first time I ever actually got paid for doing 3D modeling. Was
Onitama the first one, or?
Yeah, I think so. It's either Onitama. Yeah, it was Onitama first, and then it was the Item Meeple stuff.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure the Item Meeple stuff has kept you busy.
Yeah. Although the Tiny Epic Tactics doesn't have any item meeples.
Yeah, I was actually kind of disappointed about that. I was kind of like, I guess they gave you a break on that one, but I was like, man, they could have thrown item meeples in this too.
That'd be cool. Maybe they'll put it in as an expansion.
Who knows? I'll just
Yeah.
have to bug the Gameling Games guys at
Yeah.
Origins and see what's up.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm definitely gonna stop by their booth as well.
They're due in for an update to let us know what's going on.
Yeah. So what else would you have on your agenda for tonight? I feel kind of guilty for.
No,
Why would
that
you
was
feel guilty? Come on. Chat's loving it, so that's all that matters.
Cool.
So, but no, I mean that's basically it. I mean we were just gonna talk through these games, which we've done a good amount of, and hang out. Is there any tips you have for like Origins going, since that's like a con you've been to a bunch of times? Is there anything you must do when you're in Ohio, or?
Oh, must do while you're in Ohio. There's some really good eateries. Everyone says you got to try Jenny's ice cream.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah. So it's really really good ice cream. It's really really good ice cream. The food you really can't go wrong. There's a whole bunch of places. Within my gaming group, we actually like to go to Barley's, which is right across the street from the convention center, and we always love to order their beer cheese.
Oh,
But
nice.
yeah, so maybe we could stop by there and do a beer cheese run.
That'd
But
be awesome.
there's lots of stuff to do. And in terms of like the convention center itself, you've been to Gen Con, so Origins is going to feel, in terms of space, probably just a little bit smaller,
Mhm.
but you're going to feel like it's a more relaxed environment too. Which, yeah, because of that, Origins is definitely one of my favorite conventions.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm definitely interested and excited to go. And I'm really excited because there's going to be a ton of like Dice Tower contributors and people that like I haven't met yet, or people that I see online and talk with a whole bunch and get to see those people. And there's several other like people from the 3D printing community. I feel like I have too many friends at this point. Like I have too many people and too many people I want to hang out with, and I know I'm just gonna like run out of time. It's like, oh man, I want to go to this meetup with these people and go to this other meetup with these other people, and like I'm scheduling things with different like publishers, and then I've got to run around and try to shoot a whole bunch of content for the Dice Tower as well. It's like, there's gonna be so much stuff to do, but I'm definitely super excited to make it happen.
Yeah, it's a good problem to have.
Yeah, so we'll see. Rob, did we lose you? He fell asleep. No, I'm not sure. Maybe he's on a call. But good stuff, man. So is there anything else around the horizon, or anything that we should be keeping an eye on, or?
Besides the Metal Gear Solid and Century, the third game.
That's huge stuff, right?
Yeah. Well, at Origins, I'll be showing you the stuff that I got over on this table, because it was this was based on the discussion that you were a part of while we were at PAX Unplugged.
I know we are live. Shh.
So, and I apologize to the audience out there that we're kind of talking about inside stuff, but unfortunately we're not allowed to talk about it quite yet.
What is it? Rob always like brings up stuff, and Rob's like, "Can I say stuff about that?" And I'm like, "No, Rob, no, we can't." He's like, "Well, you let me know when I can." I'm like, "Stop!" And then chat always just does speculations, and then like people start hitting me up about like, "Is this thing, and that thing?" Mostly about like my stuff going on,
Right.
but it's always really interesting to see.
Yeah. Did you ever talk about your game on this podcast?
No. And now more
Too
people
much.
in chat are going to be like, oh. I mean, people know that there is a thing that I've been working on, and Rob's always hinting around about it. But no, we haven't done that, because you know these publishers,
Yeah.
they like things to be quiet. So
Yeah.
good times.
Well, I guess you could talk about it without talking about the specifics and talking about which publisher you potentially could be working with, right?
I guess, but I don't know how that works. It's kind of like, especially with the publishers I'm going with, are very tight-lipped about stuff. So it's actually been. I'll have to talk to you about like stuff. 'Cause it's been an interesting ride. So we'll see. But
Yeah.
but yeah, we're at like an hour for the podcast. So maybe we should Maybe we should clear things up. Do you have anything else you want to add, Rob?
No, I'm good, man. I'm excited you were able to join us, and thank you so much for your time.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you. Thanks for letting me interrupt your podcast like this.
I was
No,
totally
you
shocked
actually-
and
you
excited.
saved my butt.
Anytime, guys, or anytime I'm available on a Monday night.
Nice. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
You heard it here first. Emerson Matsushi, the fourth co-host of the Epic Gaming Night. No, I'm just kidding. Awesome. Well, thanks everybody out there for joining us. We stream these Monday nights at 9 p.m. at youtube.com/Epic Gaming Night. Make sure to check out all of Emerson's stuff at Nazca Games and everything that's going on with Platin B, and then his new game from IDW as well. Emerson, you're just all over the place.
I am all over the place.
That's the way it is when you're a freelancer, right?
Yeah, I suppose it's a good thing.
Awesome. Well, thanks everybody for joining us. And thanks so much to all of our amazing patrons who help support us on Patreon. And sorry to everybody out there for the audio podcast. Apparently, Libsyn was having issues and has been down. So everybody just got flooded with 1 million of the podcasts, I'm pretty sure. So we'll have that back up and working now. And thanks everybody, and we'll see you all next time. Bye.